A lonely house in the middle of nowhere. A dog too afraid of the world. And horrors that wait just beyond the door. Darkness falls over the plains. The windmill groans against the night sky. The old wooden boards of the farmhouse creak as if they are alive. A faint whisper crawls across the silence, and for a moment it feels like the world itself has stopped breathing. This is not a place of comfort. This is not a place of safety. This is where fear lives. The trailer begins with a slow, steady fade in. A crimson horizon bleeds across the Kansas sky as the camera drifts toward a worn farmhouse, standing alone against endless fields of dry grass. The sound is sharp, minimal, only the shrill cry of the wind and the groan of the windmill as it spins lazily. Each creak of wood echoes like a warning, a reminder that this house has witnessed things the world has long forgotten. We see a single window glowing faintly from inside. The light flickers, weak and tired, as though struggling to survive against the suffocating dark. The camera moves closer, lingering on the chipped paint, the sagging porch steps, the rusted hinges of the door. This is not a home, it is a place frozen in time, trapped between reality and nightmare, a low voice, gravelly, heavy with age cuts through the silence. It's not hurried. It's measured, patient, carrying weight with every syllable. In the middle of nowhere, there is a house, and in that house, a dog. The camera dips low. Shadows stretch across the floorboards inside the farmhouse. A candle trembles in the corner, its flame fighting against the dark. And then, from the shadows, we see him Courage. Not a cartoon, not a playful figure, but a real dog, trembling with wide, fearful eyes. His breathing is fast, shallow, his chest rising and falling as though every sound in the night is a threat waiting to strike. His paws shuffle nervously against the wooden floor. Claws clicking faintly, echoing louder than they should. The voice continues, calm yet haunting. He is small. He's afraid. But fear has a way of finding those who cannot escape it. The soundscape begins to build. A faint hum, almost too quiet to hear, creeps into the silence. It's like a distant vibration, mechanical, unnatural. The camera cuts to the farmhouse exterior again. The horizon darkens, the once crimson sky swallowed by rolling black clouds. Lightning flashes. For a fraction of a second, we see the outline of something in the distance. A tall, twisted figure, too far away to make sense of, but close enough to feel inside. Courage jerks his head toward the door, ears standing stiff. He whimpers, then quickly hides under the table, his small body trembling. His whimper is followed by silence, but not complete silence. Something else is breathing. Something heavy. Something just beyond the door. The windmill stops. Dead. The creaking ceases, replaced by an unnatural stillness. The candlelight gutters and dies. Darkness swallows the room. Only Courage's frightened panting remains. The voice returns, slower, darker, each word carving through the silence. Sometimes, the middle of nowhere is exactly where fear begins. The camera zooms into Courage's wide eyes filled with panic and helplessness. In the reflection of his pupils, we see the door slowly creaking open, light spilling in from outside. But it's not warm, golden light. It's cold, blue, unnatural. The section closes on a quick cut. Courage, frozen in fear, staring into the open doorway. A sudden flash of white light blinds the screen. A piercing, distorted sound rips through the silence like metal twisting against bone. Title flashes briefly. Live action -2025, and then darkness again. Asterisk, the screen remains dark. A faint sound stirs heartbeat-like, steady and shallow. At first it is Courage's own breath, trembling and uneven. Then a soft whimper echoes into the void, sharp enough to cut through the silence. Slowly, the scene fades back in, revealing Courage crouched in the shadows of the farmhouse kitchen. The floorboards are worn and splintered, stained with years of dust and age. He is small against the vast emptiness of the room, swallowed by the house itself. The camera lingers on him. His eyes are wide, shimmering pools of fear, darting back and forth at every creak, every whisper of the house around him. The world is too big for him. The camera shifts closer, capturing his quivering whiskers, the rise and fall of his chest, his paws tucked tight beneath him as if the act of making himself smaller could make the fear vanish. A low voice cuts in again. Steady, resonant, almost compassionate in its weight. This is Courage, a dog who fears everything. The shadows in the corner. The sound of the wind. Even his own reflection. On cue, the farmhouse mirror flickers into focus. A flash of lightning illuminates it, and for a split second, Courage's own reflection stares back distorted, stretched, monstrous. He yelps and stumbles backward, his paws scrambling against the floor. The voice continues, but fear is not weakness. Fear is the beginning of courage. The atmosphere shifts. The camera follows Courage as he slowly creeps through the narrow hallway of the farmhouse. The shadows here are thicker, heavier, pressing against him from every side. His paws click against the boards with each step. The faint outline of family photographs hangs along the walls. Muriel and Eustace, frozen smiles from years gone by. But the faces are faded, almost blurred, as if the house itself wants to forget them. Courage pauses at the end of the hall. The door to Muriel's room is ajar. Warm yellow light spills from inside, a rare softness in this world of dread. He edges closer, his ears perked, his fear giving way to something else, a quiet, fragile loyalty. Peeking through the crack, we see Muriel sitting in her chair, knitting by lamplight. Her face is kind, gentle, almost glowing in the shadows. She hums softly, a tune so fragile it feels as though it could shatter if the night pressed too hard against it. Courage's breathing slows. His trembling steadies. For a moment he is safe. His body lowers to the floor, belly against the ground, as he watches her. His eyes soften, fear melting into a quiet determination. He will protect her, no matter what. But then the voice of Eustace cuts through, sharp, grating, cruel. Stupid dog. The door slams shut. The light vanishes. Courage yelps, scurrying backward, ears pinned down tight against his head. The camera whips to the hallway behind him, now drenched in darkness. The soft hum of Muriel's tune is gone, replaced by silence, heavy, suffocating. Courage turns, frozen. The sound begins again, that low, unnatural hum, vibrating through the walls. The floorboards rattle beneath his paws. The pictures on the wall tilt, frames shaking. Something moves in the dark just beyond sight, but close enough to feel. The voice returns, calm and grave. He is a coward. But in the heart of a coward lives a guardian. For when the ones we love are in danger, even fear must bow to something greater. The scene sharpens. Quick flashes, now Courage sprinting across the fields, ears flapping wildly in the wind. Courage standing before Muriel as shadows close in around them. Courage trembling, teeth bared, trying to snarl though his whole body shakes. Then silence again. We return to a close-up of Courage's face. His eyes are wet with fear, his body small and fragile against the looming dark. But in those eyes, beneath the terror, something glimmers, a spark. The camera zooms closer until only that spark remains. The heartbeat sound grows louder, no longer timid or uneven. It is steady now, firm, strong. Lightning crashes, illuminating the farmhouse from outside. Courage stands at the doorway, his silhouette trembling but unmoving. Beyond the door, the storm rages, and something massive stirs in the fields. The narrator's final words for this section linger, low and deliberate. This is not the story of a hero born fearless. This is the story of a coward who dares to stand against the dark. The screen cuts to black. Only Courage's quick panting remains, carried over into the silence before the next section begins. The farmhouse door creaks open, slow, heavy, deliberate. It does not swing like a door touched by the wind. It moves like something unseen is forcing its way in. Courage stands frozen at the frame, every muscle locked, his fur bristling against the sudden cold air seeping inside. His whimper catches in his throat. The camera pulls in tight to his face, eyes wide, chest rising fast as shadows bleed across the floorboards. The storm outside rages, but it is not natural thunder that shakes the house. The lightning strikes reveal twisted figures in the field's long limbs. Crooked heads, movements jerking like puppets controlled by broken strings. Each flash of light distorts their shapes further until they no longer resemble men, beasts, or anything known. Courage stumbles backward, bumping into the old rocking chair. It sways once, then stops. Silence again, the low voice returns, its tone darker now, deliberate, every word carrying weight. They come from the corners of nowhere, the places we do not see, the places we should never look. The visuals cut quickly. A monstrous shadow gliding across the barn wall, bending unnaturally. A hand-like figure pressing against the farmhouse window, fingers too long, nails scratching faintly. Muriel asleep in her chair, unaware, her breath calm, her face fragile in the dim glow. Eustace muttering in his sleep, mask hanging from the edge of the bed. Its crooked smile facing Courage. The soundscape twists. Whispers rise, overlapping voices speaking in broken languages, growing louder until they melt into one hollow scream. Courage yelps, darting under the table. The camera follows him as he trembles, peeking out, watching shadows crawl. Across the floor like ink spreading in water, a sudden slam. The kitchen door bursts open. Wind howls inside. A figure stands in the threshold, tall and stretched, faceless but watching. Its form bends with each flicker of lightning, as though it exists only in fragments. Courage's eyes lock on it, his body shaking. He wants to run, but his paws refuse to move. The narrator continues. Fear takes many shapes. Some come to haunt the mind, others to tear the flesh. The camera snaps to Muriel's room. Her lamp flickers violently. The shadows stretch long across her body as she stirs. Courage whimpers, looking from her to the figure at the door. His loyalty claws at him, louder than his fear. He crawls out from beneath the table, low to the ground. Tail tucked but moving forward, quick cuts follow. Escalating, Courage sprinting down the hallway, ears flapping, claws scratching against the wood. The faceless figure drifting closer, its limbs bending unnaturally, each step like bone snapping. Muriel's knitting unraveling on the floor, yarn twisting into shapes that look almost alive. The windmill outside spinning violently, faster than the storm should allow. Groaning like metal screaming, Courage bursts into Muriel's room. He barks high-pitched, desperate, trying to wake her. She stirs, mumbling softly, unaware of the darkness creeping behind her chair. A tall shadow stretches across the wall, moving even as she remains still. Courage leaps in front of her, teeth bared, trembling as he growls. It is not a strong growl, not the roar of a predator, but it is enough. The narrator lowers his voice. Almost a whisper now, sometimes the smallest stand. Is the loudest defiance, the screen jolts to black. A heartbeat. Then a flash. Courage facing the faceless figure head-on, his body trembling but unmoving. The sound of his bark cracks through the silence, echoing far louder than it should, shaking the screen itself, but the threat is not one. It is many. The montage quickens. Courage sprinting through a storm, monstrous silhouettes chasing him. Eustace in his mask, laughing cruelly as Courage cowers. Doors slamming shut, windows rattling violently. The farmhouse groaning like it might collapse under unseen weight. A close-up of Muriel's terrified scream, her chair dragged back into the dark. The storm crescendos. The whispers return, layered, overlapping until they are deafening. Courage runs, Courage hides, Courage trembles, but he always returns, always steps back toward the danger. His fear is endless, but so is his love. The narrator's final words for this section cut through the noise. Steady and cold, in this house. Terror is patient. Terror is endless. And terror always finds its way back. The final shot of this section. Courage alone in the middle of the farmhouse hallway, darkness closing in around him. His shadow stretches long, twisted, but his eyes remain locked forward. He pants, he trembles, but he does not turn away. Lightning flashes, revealing dozens of twisted figures surrounding the house, then darkness, silence, only his breathing remains, asterisk. The screen stays dark for a long moment. All that remains is Courage's panting fast, desperate, uneven. Then silence. The kind of silence that doesn't calm, but crushes. Out of it, a deep hum builds like the vibration of a machine buried underground. The camera rises slowly from black, showing the farmhouse against the storm. The lightning no longer comes in flashes. It pours across the sky like veins of fire, painting the land in violent white. The voice returns, sharper now, urgent. When fear is all you know, the only way forward is to face it. The montage begins, rapid, visceral, each frame designed to jolt the audience. Courage sprinting through the cornfields as monstrous shadows tear through the stalks behind him, their limbs clawing at the earth. Muriel screaming as her rocking chair is dragged backward into a void-like darkness, her arms outstretched, knitting needles falling from her grasp. Eustace slamming his mask on, his laugh distorted, echoing like static, his figure looming in the doorway with the mask's grin glowing faintly in the dark. Courage digging frantically at the floorboards, revealing something buried beneath the household bones, strange symbols carved deep into the wood. The windmill spinning so violently its blades crack, splinters flying into the storm as the earth trembles beneath it. The music rises now, strings stretched to breaking point, percussion like thunder pounding in rhythm with Courage's heartbeat. Each image cuts faster, sharper, until the screen becomes a blur of terror and motion. Courage is thrown against a wall, sliding down with a whimper. He looks up, trembling, and sees the faceless figure crouching in front of him, head tilting unnaturally from side to side. It leans closer, its non-existent mouth opening into an impossible void. Courage closes his eyes, shaking, whimpering, waiting, but then something shifts. Muriel's voice cuts through the chaos, soft, kind, fragile, but strong enough to be heard. Courage. The word hangs in the air. His ears twitch. His eyes open. He looks up again. The void mouth hovers inches from him, but in his reflection we see it a flicker of defiance. The trembling doesn't stop, but his body lifts. His paws press into the floor. His teeth bare, his bark erupts, shrill, desperate, but piercing through the storm like a blade. The monster recoils, the air itself cracking with the force of it. Lightning explodes across the fields. Shadows twist and retreat. Courage steps forward again, barking louder, stronger, each sound laced with terror but burning with will. The narrator's voice lowers to a whisper, reverent, almost in awe. Even the smallest courage can silence the darkest fear. The montage slams into overdrive, Courage leaping onto Eustace, ripping the mask from his face as Eustace howls in rage. Courage biting into a shadow's limb as it screeches, light pouring from the wound. Muriel clutching Courage to her chest, whispering thanks through tears. The farmhouse splitting down the middle, beams crashing, flames rising against the storm. Courage standing on the porch as dozens of monsters surround him, lightning illuminating their twisted forms. The storm reaches its peak, shaking the earth, the farmhouse tearing apart behind him. Courage stands alone, framed against fire and lightning, his body trembling but unbroken. His eyes lock on the faceless figure as it rises tall above the rest. Looming over the plains for a heartbeat, silence returns. Just Courage, the monster, and the endless dark between them. Then, Courage howls. Not a whimper, not a bark, but a long, broken howl. It echoes across the land, carried by the storm, cutting through the whispers, silencing everything. The screen goes black. A title card slams onto the screen in heavy white letters. Courage the Cowardly Dog Live Action, 2025. The hum fades into silence. Then, one final moment, Liam Neeson's voice, deep and steady, closes the trailer. He is afraid. Always afraid. But sometimes, fear itself trembles back. The screen cuts to static. Then black.